A woman in Ohio legally married a roller coaster last Tuesday, but that's not even in the top 50 weirdest things Americans have done in public this year. What you're about to see will make you question everything you thought you knew about normal human behavior in America. 1. Americans talk like they're performing for an audience that's 3 blocks away. Walk into any restaurant and you'll hear conversations from tables across the room. It's not intentional rudeness, it's just how things work here. Theme parks sound like rock concerts because everyone's shouting over everyone else. Tourists from quieter countries often look stunned, like they've wandered into a human amplifier convention. The volume dial seems permanently stuck on maximum. 2. The moment airplane wheels touch the runway, something magical happens. Passengers burst into applause like they've just witnessed a Broadway finale. Flight attendants roll their eyes, but it keeps happening on flight after flight. Sometimes people add whistles and cheers for extra dramatic effect. Non-Americans sit there confused, wondering if clapping for pilots is some sort of cultural requirement they missed in their travel guides. It's pure relief mixed with gratitude. 3. Grocery stores have become fashion runways for sleepwear. People stroll through produce aisles wearing fuzzy slippers and pajama pants covered in cartoon characters. Some take it further with full robes and house shoes, treating Target like their living room. Airport gates look like slumber parties with travelers in matching pajama sets. Other countries see this as the height of laziness, but Americans have turned comfort into a public statement. 4. Coffee cups the size of small buckets are carried everywhere, like essential accessories. Americans walk down sidewalks, drive through traffic, and attend meetings with massive to-go cups in hand. Coffee shops compete to offer the largest portable containers possible. Sitting down to enjoy coffee feels almost foreign here. Speed and mobility rule everything. Europeans shake their heads at this caffeinated marathon culture. 5. National Donut Day arrives, and suddenly everyone becomes a pastry enthusiast. Shops give away free treats while people post pictures of their sugary hauls online. There's National Pizza Day, National Pancake Day, and about 300 other food holidays throughout the year. Some people plan their entire month around these celebrations. Other countries might have harvest festivals, but Americans have turned every snack into a reason for nationwide parties. 6. Gas stations have transformed into mini entertainment centers with screens blaring advertisements. You're trying to fuel your car while loud commercials sell you everything from energy drinks to car insurance. The ads repeat endlessly until you want to scream. Most pumps have mute buttons, but they're hidden like secret codes that nobody bothers to find. It's impossible to have a peaceful moment while buying gasoline. 7. Halloween transforms suburban neighborhoods into horror movie sets with inflatable decorations covering entire front yards. Some families spend more on spooky lawn displays than others spend on vacations. Giant skeletons climb houses while fog machines create eerie atmospheres for trick-or-treaters. Neighborhoods hold competitions for the most elaborate setups, turning residential streets into tourist attractions. The commitment to creating public fear for fun reaches absolutely ridiculous levels every October. 8. American schools literally shut down for pep rallies before big games. The entire student body packs into gymnasiums while marching bands blast fight songs and cheerleaders perform elaborate routines. Teachers join students in organized chants and skits that can last over an hour. Foreign exchange students often can't believe how seriously everyone takes these events. The energy rivals actual concerts, with kids screaming at decibel levels that would make rock stars jealous. 9. You'll spot dogs cruising grocery store aisles in shopping carts like they're picking up their weekly produce. Pet owners push animals in specialized strollers through Target and Home Depot without anyone batting an eye. Some stores even host weekend adoption events right between the electronics and pharmacy sections. Service animals get mixed up with regular pets constantly. Health codes supposedly restrict this, but enforcement varies wildly from state to state. 10. Strangers will tell you their entire life story while waiting in line at Starbucks. Americans genuinely believe asking, "How's your day going?" to random people shows friendliness rather than nosiness. Elevator rides become mini therapy sessions where people share details about their marriages, job struggles, and weekend plans. What feels natural to Americans strikes visitors as either wonderfully open or completely fake. The cashier at CVS might know more about your personal problems than your actual neighbors do. 11. Americans routinely leave 20% tips even when the service was mediocre and the food arrived cold. Tip jars appear at counter service places where you literally serve yourself, yet people still drop money in them. Some diners tip generously on terrible meals just to avoid awkward confrontations with servers. International visitors often accidentally stiff waitstaff because tipping culture doesn't exist in their home countries. The guilt around under-tipping runs so deep that Americans will tip for services that don't traditionally require it. 12. Restaurant portions in America could feed small villages. A single entree often contains enough calories for an entire day, leaving international visitors staring in disbelief at plates overflowing with food. Medium drinks at fast food chains are larger than large sizes in other countries. The breadbasket alone could count as a full meal elsewhere. Doggy bags become essential survival tools because finishing everything would require the appetite of a professional athlete. Supersizing isn't just an option, it's practically expected. 13. Americans will boldly ask servers for to-go containers even when half the table is still eating dessert. Leftover pasta, unfinished steaks, and extra bread rolls all get packaged up for tomorrow's lunch without any shame whatsoever. Other cultures view this as embarrassing or cheap, but Americans see it as practical money saving. Restaurants automatically provide free takeout boxes and bags like it's a public service. Some people plan their restaurant orders specifically around having leftovers for the next day. 14. Marriage proposals happen on stadium jumbotrons while 50,000 strangers cheer and record everything on their phones. Flash mobs suddenly appear in shopping malls with dozens of dancers helping one person pop the question. Elaborate public proposals involve hiring musicians, decorating parks, and coordinating with complete strangers to hold signs. The bigger and more public the proposal, the more romantic it's considered. Videos of these moments get shared millions of times online, inspiring even more over-the-top public engagements across the country. 15. Every highway in America looks like a lawyer convention exploded. Giant billboards tower over traffic with attorneys posing in power suits, promising justice for your fender bender. Injured, call now, screams from signs bigger than most apartments. These legal advertisements outnumber fast food ads in some cities. Lawyers advertise everything from slip-and-fall cases to class action lawsuits against big corporations. Other countries strictly regulate attorney marketing, but America treats legal services like any other product. The phone numbers are always huge and memorable. 16. Walk through any American mall and you'll spot 40-year-olds wearing their college sweatshirts like badges of honor. Adults deck themselves head to toe in university gear decades after graduation. Entire families coordinate in matching school colors for game day, looking like walking advertisements for higher education. Dad wears the hat, mom rocks the jacket, kids sport the t-shirts. These aren't just clothes, they're tribal uniforms. College rivalries play out through fashion choices at grocery stores and coffee shops. Alumni loyalty runs so deep, it becomes a lifestyle. 17. American bathroom stalls have gaps so wide you could practically shake hands with the person next door. These spaces between doors and walls leave users feeling completely exposed to anyone walking past. Other countries build restroom stalls like private rooms with full enclosure and actual privacy. But here, you can see ankles, shoulders, and way more than anyone wants. The gaps supposedly help with cleaning and safety, but mostly they just make everyone uncomfortable. Foreign visitors always comment on this bizarre lack of privacy in what should be the most private space. 18. Americans have turned convenience into an art form by putting drive-thrus on everything imaginable. Banks, pharmacies, coffee shops, and even some grocery stores let you never leave your car. Fast food drive-thrus have become the default dining choice for millions. Some states offer drive-thru wedding ceremonies where you can get married without stepping outside your vehicle. The obsession with avoiding human interaction has reached peak efficiency. Why walk when you can drive? Time saved sitting in a car line somehow feels more valuable than stretching your legs. 19. The Super Bowl transforms into America's unofficial national holiday every February. Even people who hate football throw parties and watch for the commercials and halftime show. Offices practically shut down the Monday after as everyone recovers from Super Bowl Sunday festivities. Some Americans spend weeks preparing elaborate spreads of food for their viewing parties. The game draws over 100 million viewers annually, making it one of the most watched events in television history. Non-sports fans get just as invested in rating the advertisements and musical performances as actual gameplays. 20. Americans turn themselves into walking flag displays whenever patriotism calls. Red, white, and blue clothing covers everything from swimsuits to lawn chairs to shoes during July 4th celebrations. Flag patterns appear on towels, hats, and even underwear without anyone batting an eye. Other countries rarely plaster their national symbols across everyday clothing and accessories, but Americans wear their patriotism literally on their sleeves, shorts, and socks. These star-spangled outfits show up at parades, barbecues, and pretty much any summer gathering where national pride needs displaying through fashion choices. 21. Free refills flow like waterfalls in American restaurants, shocking visitors from countries where each drink costs extra. Unlimited soda fountains let customers return for seconds, thirds, and fourths without paying more. European tourists always marvel at the massive drink sizes that come with endless refills included in the original price. Coffee and tea also get the free refill treatment at most diners and casual restaurants. Staff actively offer to top off your cup throughout the meal. This beverage generosity seems wasteful to outsiders, but feels perfectly normal to Americans who expect their drinks to never run empty. 22. Black Friday shoppers treat camping out like a competitive sport. People arrive with sleeping bags, portable heaters, and enough snacks to survive a week. Some stores see lines forming 3 days before sales start. The dedication is intense. Families take shifts, so someone always holds their spot. News crews show up to interview the most committed campers. When doors finally open, the stampede begins. It's chaos wrapped in discount pricing. 23. Walking into certain big box stores feels like entering a greeting card come to life. An employee stands near the entrance whose entire job is saying hello to strangers. They wave enthusiastically at every single person. Some hand out stickers or shopping carts with genuine smiles. The role often goes to older workers who seem genuinely happy to chat. Foreign visitors find this bizarre. Why pay someone just to be friendly? But it works somehow. 24. Hours before kickoff, parking lots transform into temporary neighborhoods. Fans arrive with elaborate setups that put most camping trips to shame. Grills sizzle with burgers while portable TVs broadcast pre-game coverage. Cornhole tournaments break out between strangers. Beer flows freely in many states, creating a party atmosphere that rivals the actual game. The ritual can last longer than the sporting event itself. Some people admit they prefer tailgating to watching the game indoors. 25. Americans discuss weather like it's breaking news every single day. Conversations start with temperature updates and humidity complaints. Weather apps get checked obsessively, sometimes every 30 minutes. People share detailed forecasts with coworkers who live in the same city. Storm warnings become neighborhood gossip sessions. The Weather Channel runs constantly in waiting rooms everywhere. Even brief encounters with strangers include weather commentary. It's the ultimate safe topic that somehow never gets old for most Americans. 26. A 70-year-old grandmother buying wine gets treated like a suspicious teenager. Cashiers demand identification from people who clearly lived through multiple decades. Store policies require checking IDs for anyone who looks under 40, but many employees card everyone regardless of age. Gray-haired customers sometimes feel flattered by the attention. Others get annoyed at the obvious absurdity. The phrase, "I got carded today," becomes a humble brag among older adults who share the story proudly. 27. Dozens of people suddenly burst into synchronized dance routines in the middle of shopping malls. Flash mobs appear without warning, performing choreographed numbers that took months to perfect. Shoppers stop eating their food court meals to watch and record videos. The performances last maybe 5 minutes before everyone disperses like nothing happened. Some celebrate engagements or birthdays this way. Others use flash mobs for marriage proposals or even protest messages. Social media spreads the videos instantly afterward. 28. Shopping carts become abandoned vehicles scattered across parking lots like an automotive graveyard. Cart return corrals sit empty while stray carts roll into cars and block parking spaces. Some stores employ full-time cart collectors who spend entire shifts chasing down runaways. Online debates rage about whether returning carts measures someone's character. Self-appointed cart narcs shame people who leave them scattered. The simple act reveals surprising divisions about basic courtesy and personal responsibility in public spaces. 29. Americans wave at everyone. Joggers get waves, mail carriers get waves, random drivers at red lights get waves. The smiling never stops either. Cashiers expect it, strangers on sidewalks expect it, even people you've never met before expect that friendly face. It's like everyone's running for mayor of their own neighborhood. Not smiling back? That's basically declaring war. International visitors often think it's fake or exhausting, but Americans genuinely believe this constant cheerfulness makes the world better. 30. When your team wins, you don't just celebrate at home. You grab your car, honk the horn, and join a massive parade of vehicles driving through town. Birthdays get car parades too. Graduations, car parade. Someone recovered from surgery, time for another car parade. Cars get decorated with balloons, streamers, and poster boards taped to windows. Traffic laws seem optional during these celebrations. The noise can be heard for miles, and everyone waves frantically at confused pedestrians watching the spectacle unfold. 31. Snow on the ground? Perfect time for flip-flops. Americans wear these rubber sandals everywhere, regardless of weather or occasion. Office meetings, grocery shopping, even church services see people in flip-flops. Some brave souls pair them with toe socks for extra warmth during winter months. The slapping sound of flip-flops echoes through malls year-round. Europeans visiting in January are shocked to see exposed toes in freezing temperatures, but comfort trumps everything else, and nothing beats the convenience of slip-on footwear for quick errands. 32. Saturday morning means soap suds flowing down the driveway. Americans love washing their own cars at home instead of using professional car washes. Garden hoses come out, buckets appear, and neighbors start comparing cleaning techniques. Kids set up lemonade stands nearby to capitalize on the captive audience. Some people wash their cars weekly, treating it like meditation time. During droughts, cities have to remind residents to stop this water-wasting ritual, but the satisfaction of a self-washed vehicle keeps the tradition alive in suburbia across America. 33. Airport speakers never rest. Every 30 seconds brings another announcement about security procedures, boarding gates, or suspicious packages. The volume stays cranked up high enough to drown out normal conversation. Multiple languages repeat the same urgent messages while people try to talk on phones or relax before flights. Non-Americans immediately notice how much louder American airports are compared to their home countries. The constant noise creates stress instead of providing helpful information. Finding a quiet corner becomes impossible when robotic voices echo from every direction. 34. School shuts down completely when it's time for a pep rally. Students pack into gymnasiums to scream about upcoming football games while marching bands play fight songs at deafening volumes. Teachers dress up in school colors and participate in silly skits or dance contests. The cheerleaders lead chants that everyone knows by heart. Visitors from other countries can't believe entire academic days get canceled just to pump up sports teams. But these rallies build school spirit and create memories that last decades after graduation. 35. Baseball games start with everyone standing for the national anthem. Shopping mall grand openings, national anthem. High school graduations, national anthem time again. Even some charity runs begin with the anthem playing over loudspeakers. Everyone faces the flag, removes their hats, and places hands over hearts in synchronized patriotic unity. Some people sing along loudly, while others mouth the words quietly. Not participating draws disapproving stares from fellow Americans. The ritual happens so frequently that visitors joke about hearing the anthem more in America than their own countries. 36. Americans love their lawn signs. Every season brings new reasons to stick messages in the yard. Graduation parties get announced with giant banners. Political campaigns turn neighborhoods into colorful battlefields of opinions. Happy Birthday, Sarah appears next to Vote Johnson 2024. Some homeowners change signs monthly, celebrating everything from new babies to favorite sports teams. The front yard becomes a public bulletin board. Other countries keep private celebrations indoors, but Americans broadcast life updates through their landscaping. 37. Walk through any American mall and you'll see flip-flops in January. T-shirts and shorts are acceptable everywhere. Even fancy restaurants allow jeans and sneakers most nights. Office workers celebrate Casual Friday like it's a national holiday. Sweatpants at the grocery store? Totally normal. Hoodies at the bank? No problem. Europeans pack formal clothes for dinner, then feel overdressed when locals show up in cargo shorts. Americans prioritize comfort over appearance, making fashion rules surprisingly flexible. 38. Strangers overshare health details constantly. Bus rides become medical consultations between passengers. My knee surgery was brutal, but the physical therapy helped. Grocery store checkout lines turn into pharmacy discussions. People announce their allergies, medications, and doctor appointments to anyone listening. Restaurant servers hear detailed dietary restrictions from customers they just met. Other cultures keep health matters private, but Americans treat personal medical information like casual conversation topics. Makes for awkward moments when visitors aren't expecting intimate health updates. 39. Charity runs showcase America's costume creativity. Runners dress as dinosaurs, tacos, or wedding dresses for 5K races. The Turkey Trot features actual turkey suits. Color runs attract unicorn outfits and superhero capes. These events raise money while providing entertainment for spectators. Winners get prizes for both speed and creativity. Participants spend weeks planning elaborate costumes, then proudly post photos online. The athletic achievement becomes secondary to the fashion statement. Running becomes performance art with a charitable purpose. 40. Americans hug everyone. Friends, family, co-workers, sometimes even new acquaintances get embraced. Public displays of affection happen constantly in malls, parks, and restaurants. Hand-holding couples walk through grocery stores. Family reunions feature extended hugging sessions visible to strangers. European visitors often step back when Americans lean in for goodbye hugs. The physical contact feels excessive to many cultures. Personal space boundaries are much smaller here. Emotional expression through touch is considered normal, healthy behavior rather than inappropriate public intimacy. 41. Summer sweaters are essential for American shopping. Stores blast air conditioning so aggressively that customers shiver in July. Movie theaters require jackets during heat waves. Restaurants keep dining rooms freezing while sidewalks hit 90 degrees. European tourists pack winter clothes specifically for indoor activities. Office workers keep desk blankets year-round. The energy bills must be enormous, but comfort means Arctic temperatures inside. You'll catch a cold from the grocery store before the weather outside affects you. Indoor climate control goes completely overboard. 42. Sports jerseys are everyday fashion in America. NFL uniforms appear at grocery stores, airports, and office buildings. Fans wear team colors weeks before big games, showing loyalty through clothing choices. Replica jerseys cost hundreds of dollars but serve as regular wardrobe pieces. Good-natured rivalries play out through fashion statements in public spaces. Kids wear basketball jerseys to school, adults wear football gear to restaurants. The line between game day and regular day disappears completely. Athletic uniforms become casual wear that signals tribal membership and personal identity. 43. Families drag old furniture, clothes, and random junk onto their front lawns every weekend. They slap price tags on everything from broken toasters to vintage Christmas decorations. Neighbors wander around with coffee cups, haggling over 50-cent books and dollar shirts. You'll find everything from wedding dresses to exercise equipment nobody ever used. The weird part, people actually get excited about buying other people's unwanted stuff. It's like treasure hunting in suburbia, except the treasure is mostly someone else's garage clutter. 44. Red light hits, music cranks up, and suddenly half the drivers around you turn into wannabe rock stars. Windows down, heads bobbing, full-on lip-syncing to whatever's blasting through their speakers. Some people go all out with air guitar solos right there at the intersection. Others try to be sneaky about it until someone catches them mid-chorus. The embarrassment lasts about 2 seconds before they're back to belting out the next song. Traffic jams become impromptu concerts where everyone's the headliner. 45. Cops at festivals aren't just standing around looking intimidating. They're handing out stickers to kids, posing for selfies, and chatting about the weather like they're your neighbor. Some departments even set up coffee stands where you can just walk up and complain about potholes or ask about community programs. These aren't formal interviews or interrogations. They're just regular conversations with people who happen to wear badges. It's community policing taken to a whole new level of casual friendliness. 46. High school graduation means turning the entire front yard into a celebration billboard. Giant banners with the graduate's face flutter from trees and fences. Balloons shaped like diplomas bob around the mailbox while congratulatory signs cover every available lawn space. Cars honk as they drive by, complete strangers wave from sidewalks, and neighbors stop to chat about college plans. The whole neighborhood becomes part of the party. Some families keep these displays up for weeks, turning graduation into a month-long public announcement. 47. Shopping malls compete to build the most spectacular water features imaginable. These aren't simple fountains, they're full-scale productions with choreographed water shows, colored lighting, and background music that changes hourly. Kids treat them like splash pads, tossing pennies while making wishes. Adults use the surrounding benches as prime people watching real estate. During holidays, these fountains get themed makeovers with floating decorations and seasonal soundtracks. Some fountains become local landmarks that people actually plan visits around. 48. Music starts playing anywhere, and Americans just start moving. Concert crowds turn into massive dance parties where everyone's doing their own thing. Park festivals see families break into spontaneous line dancing when the right song hits. Food truck lines become rhythm sections with people swaying while they wait for tacos. Nobody needs permission or a designated dance floor. The energy is contagious. Even the shyest person might find themselves tapping their feet. Public dancing isn't performance art here. It's just Tuesday. 49. Towns take pumpkin competitions so seriously they'll shut down main streets for weigh-ins. These aren't your average jack-o'-lantern pumpkins. We're talking about orange monsters that need forklifts to move them around. Growers spend months nurturing these giants, some reaching weights that break local records annually. The winning pumpkin gets displayed like a trophy, while crowds gather to take photos next to something that looks more like a small orange car than a vegetable. Local news covers it like a sporting event. 50. Americans take holiday fashion to a whole new level. Walk into any store between October and January, and you'll spot people wearing reindeer sweaters in July heat or Halloween pumpkin cardigans in spring. The ugly sweater trend has become so popular that entire contests revolve around finding the most ridiculous holiday-themed clothing. Families coordinate matching outfits for photos, then wear them to grocery stores for months afterward. What started as ironic fashion has become genuinely beloved. 51. Nothing gets a crowd going like spelling out words one letter at a time. At football games, cheerleaders shout, "Give me a T," and thousands of people respond with thunderous energy. Elementary school teachers use this technique to help kids learn names and vocabulary words. The call-and-response format creates instant participation from strangers. Even adults find themselves caught up in the rhythm, shouting letters they never intended to say. It's infectious group energy that builds community through the alphabet. 52. Summer sidewalks across America feature tiny entrepreneurs selling cups of lemonade for 50 cents. These makeshift businesses pop up on street corners with handwritten signs and wobbly card tables. Parents encourage these ventures as lessons in money management and customer service. Neighbors genuinely stop their cars to support local kids, even when the lemonade tastes terrible. Some stands raise money for charity or school supplies. Occasionally, overzealous city officials shut them down for permit violations, sparking community outrage and national news coverage. 53. Come prom season, fancy restaurants fill with teenagers wearing $1,000 gowns and rented tuxedos. These dressed-up groups take over entire sections of chain restaurants, turning Olive Garden into a formal dining experience. The contrast is striking. Elegant evening wear in casual family establishments. Staff members expect these visits and often accommodate large parties with patience. Photos happen everywhere. Parking lots, fountains, and sidewalks become impromptu photo studios. It's a uniquely American tradition of celebrating formal events in everyday places. 54. Movie theaters become concert halls when blockbuster films premiere. Audiences dressed as superheroes sing theme songs before the credits roll. People stand up and cheer during action sequences, treating cinema like live theater. Opening night crowds create electric atmospheres with costumes, props, and group chanting. Theater staff often join the celebration rather than asking for quiet. These communal viewing experiences turn individual entertainment into shared cultural moments. The movie becomes secondary to the collective excitement of being there together. 55. Coffee shops transform into intimate performance venues when local authors share their work. Strangers gather around small tables to listen to poetry readings or book excerpts. These events happen weekly in many cities, creating accessible cultural experiences. Amateur writers get their first audiences this way. Building confidence through public readings, the informal atmosphere encourages questions and discussions afterward. It's democracy in action. Anyone can participate, whether as performer or audience member. Literature becomes a community activity rather than a solitary pursuit. 56. Small town fairs feature competitive eating that draws massive crowds and television coverage. Professional speed eaters consume dozens of hot dogs or entire pies within minutes. The Nathan's Famous Hot Dog Contest has become a July 4th tradition watched by millions. Winners achieve celebrity status and endorsement deals from their eating abilities. Local contests throughout the country copy this format with regional specialties. These events celebrate excess and spectacle, turning basic human functions into entertainment. Contestants train year-round for these brief moments of gastronomic glory. 57. Americans wear sunglasses inside restaurants, malls, and airports like it's perfectly normal. You'll spot someone ordering coffee with shades on, completely unbothered. Celebrities started this trend, but regular folks copied it everywhere. The idea is looking cool or mysterious. Apparently, non-Americans find it rude since you can't make eye contact, but here, nobody bats an eye at indoor sunglasses. 58. Picture this. You're buying groceries when suddenly a giant tiger mascot appears in the cereal aisle. College mascots show up at supermarkets for promotions and photo ops. They dance around, high-five kids, and pose for selfies near the produce section. It's all about hyping up game week or school spirit. Shoppers act like it's totally normal to see a costume character buying bananas alongside them. 59. How are you? Rolls off American tongues constantly, but don't actually answer. It's just a greeting, not a real question. Most people respond with good thanks and keep walking. The whole exchange takes 3 seconds max. Foreigners often launch into detailed explanations about their day, leaving Americans confused and trapped. Well, they asked, right? Wrong. It's social code, not genuine curiosity about your life. 60. Laundromats become social hubs where strangers chat about everything while their clothes spin. People bring books, laptops, and sometimes board games to pass time. Free Wi-Fi keeps everyone connected, and vending machines provide snacks for the wait. Community events occasionally pop up in these spaces. It's oddly cozy watching your underwear tumble while discussing politics with someone you just met minutes ago. 61. Beach competitions feature massive sand sculptures that take hours to build. Teams construct elaborate castles, dragons, and replicas of famous buildings right on the shore. Crowds gather to watch and vote for winners. Prizes get handed out for creativity and size. Then there's the sad part. High tide washes away these masterpieces overnight, but nobody seems to mind starting fresh next summer. 62. Pregnancy announcements happen through t-shirts worn in public spaces. Baby on board shirts appear at restaurants and parks for reveal parties. Future dads sport matching shirts, and even grandparents-to-be get custom gear. Group photos capture the moment for social media sharing. Family members act surprised, even though they probably already knew. The whole spectacle turns private news into a public celebration that strangers witness everywhere. 63. Folding chairs appear on sidewalks days before parades start, claiming prime viewing spots. Some families set up a week early with ropes and blankets marking territory. Local news covers the aggressive tactics people use to secure their space. Lawn chairs become like parking meters for public sidewalks. And the weird part is, everyone respects these makeshift reservations, even though technically nobody owns that concrete. 64. Matching family outfits might seem like something from the 1980s, but they're everywhere in America today. Walk through any theme park and you'll spot entire families wearing identical Mickey Mouse ears or coordinated color schemes. Parents dress their kids in matching pajamas for Christmas morning photos, then wear those same outfits to brunch afterward. The trend has exploded beyond holidays too. Families order custom t-shirts for vacations, reunions, and even grocery shopping trips. 65. The wave at sporting events confuses many international visitors who witness it for the first time. Thousands of people suddenly stand up, throw their arms in the air, then sit back down in perfect sequence. This creates a visual ripple effect that travels around the entire stadium like an actual wave. Americans invented this tradition in the 1980s, and now it appears at baseball games, football matches, and even concerts across the country. 66. Americans hug almost everyone, and it catches many foreigners completely off guard. Friends get hugs instead of handshakes. Coworkers hug at retirement parties. Some people even hug their dentist after a cleaning appointment. At airports, you'll see free hug signs held by strangers trying to brighten travelers' days. The hugs aren't quick either. They're often long, warm embraces that can last several seconds, making visitors from more reserved cultures feel awkward. 67. Pill organizers come out everywhere in America, from restaurant tables to park benches. People openly sort their daily medications while chatting with friends or waiting for appointments. These plastic containers with Monday through Sunday compartments are filled in public without any shame or privacy concerns. Elderly Americans especially treat pill sorting like a social activity, comparing medications with strangers and discussing dosages. The openness about prescription drugs surprises visitors from countries where medical topics stay private. 68. Food trucks create their own unique American chaos that visitors never expect. These mobile restaurants park anywhere from office buildings to music festivals, attracting long lines of hungry customers. People wait 30 minutes for gourmet grilled cheese or fusion tacos served from a converted van. The trucks blast music, announce specials through megaphones, and create impromptu street parties wherever they stop. Some cities have food truck festivals where dozens gather in one location, turning parking lots into outdoor food courts. 69. Americans treat their pets like family members in public spaces that shock international visitors. Dogs wear strollers through shopping malls while their owners browse for clothes. Pet owners bring emotional support animals on airplanes, into restaurants, and even to work meetings. Some stores host adoption events where puppies and kittens are displayed near the checkout lanes. The line between service animals and regular pets gets blurred constantly, leading to heated debates about what's allowed where. 70. Wedding gender reveal parties have become massive public spectacles that entire neighborhoods can witness. Couples hire planes to release colored smoke over parks or set off fireworks that turn the sky pink or blue. Some use cannons that shoot colored powder across football fields, while dozens of guests cheer and record videos. These reveals happen at beaches, in restaurant parking lots, and even during halftime at local sports games. The celebrations are so elaborate that they sometimes make local news broadcasts. 71. Americans don't just talk, they project their voices like they're performing Shakespeare in an outdoor theater. Walk into any restaurant and you'll hear conversations from 3 tables away. The volume isn't intentional rudeness, it's just how things work here. Europeans whisper what Americans consider normal speaking volume. Theme parks become acoustic nightmares where excited families compete with screaming roller coaster riders. International visitors often ask if Americans have hearing problems. The answer, we just like being heard. 72. Something magical happens when an airplane touches down safely in America. Spontaneous applause erupts throughout the cabin. Passengers clap, cheer, and sometimes even whistle like they've witnessed a miracle. Flight attendants don't encourage this behavior, but they've learned to expect it. The ritual seems to baffle international travelers who treat landing like any other routine procedure. But for Americans, that applause represents pure gratitude. We're basically thanking the pilot for not crashing into the ground. 73. Step into any American grocery store after 6 p.m. and you'll spot them. Adults wandering the aisles in full pajama ensembles. Flannel pants, fuzzy slippers, and sometimes even bathrobes make regular appearances at Walmart. This isn't limited to late-night emergencies either. Teens wear pajama pants to school, adults sport them at airports, and entire families coordinate matching sleepwear for public outings. Other countries view this as the height of laziness. Americans call it comfort fashion. 74, the sight of Americans clutching enormous coffee cups while walking down sidewalks has become iconic worldwide. These aren't dainty espresso portions. We're talking bucket-sized containers filled with caffeinated fuel. Coffee shops compete to offer the largest takeaway options possible. Speed and convenience trump everything else in American coffee culture. While Europeans prefer sitting at cafes for leisurely coffee conversations, Americans treat coffee like portable energy drinks. We've turned a social ritual into a grab-and-go lifestyle necessity. 75. National Donut Day isn't just a cute calendar entry in America. It's a legitimate public celebration. Shops offer free treats, people dress up as their favorite pastries, and social media explodes with food photos. Then, there's National Pizza Day, National Pancake Day, and dozens more food holidays throughout the year. Some businesses host eating competitions or costume contests to mark these occasions. Other countries might acknowledge food traditions, but Americans turn them into full-blown public festivals with corporate sponsorship. 76. Pumping gas in America comes with an unwanted soundtrack, loud advertisements blasting from screens mounted on fuel dispensers. These mini televisions assault you with news updates, weather reports, and shopping promotions while you're trapped holding a gas nozzle. The ads repeat endlessly until you drive away. Most screens have mute buttons, but they're often hidden or completely ignored by frustrated customers. The whole experience feels like being held hostage by marketing executives who've invaded your routine errands. 77. American Halloween decorations don't mess around. Entire neighborhoods transform into elaborate horror movie sets every October. Homeowners spend hundreds of dollars on inflatable monsters, moving skeletons, and fog machines that cover their front yards. Some displays are so extravagant they cause traffic jams as people drive by to stare. Communities hold official contests for the best decorated houses, complete with prizes and local news coverage. The commitment level reaches absurd heights when families start planning next year's display before this year's candy is eaten. 78. Americans don't just talk, they broadcast. Walk into any restaurant and you'll hear conversations from 3 tables away. It's like everyone's performing for an invisible audience. Tourists notice this immediately when they land at airports. The volume difference is jarring. Even casual phone calls sound like announcements. Europeans whisper what Americans shout during normal dinner conversations. 79. The moment those airplane wheels touch the runway, something magical happens. Passengers break into spontaneous applause like they've witnessed a miracle. Flight attendants just smile and continue their duties while travelers clap, cheer, and sometimes whistle. Non-Americans sit there completely baffled, wondering if landing planes is somehow unusual. It's pure American gratitude mixed with relief, broadcasted at 30,000 feet. 80. Grocery shopping in pajama pants isn't just acceptable, it's practically a uniform. Teens shuffle through Target in fuzzy slippers, while adults browse produce sections wearing robes. The fashion police don't exist here. Some people coordinate their pajama sets for maximum comfort. Europeans pack actual clothes for airport trips, but Americans rock flannel pants through security without batting an eye. 81. Coffee isn't just a drink in America, it's a portable lifestyle. Those massive to-go cups could hydrate small villages. People clutch them like security blankets while walking, driving, and shopping. The idea of sitting down to enjoy coffee feels almost foreign. Speed trumps everything. Why spend 20 minutes in a cafe when you can gulp caffeine while running errands? Efficiency over elegance, every single time. 82. National Donut Day gets treated like a federal holiday. Pizza Day brings out crowds bigger than some parades. Shops offer free treats while customers line up in costumes. Eating competitions break out spontaneously. People actually plan their schedules around Pancake Day celebrations. Other countries reserve this enthusiasm for actual historical events, but Americans will throw parties for literally any food that exists on the planet. 83. You're pumping gas when suddenly screens start blasting advertisements at your face. The volume is set to impossible to ignore. Weather updates mix with shopping promotions while you're trapped holding a fuel nozzle. The mute buttons exist, but they're hidden like state secrets. Meanwhile, you're getting sold everything from cheeseburgers to car insurance while trying to fill your tank in peace. 84. Halloween transforms American neighborhoods into horror movie sets. Entire lawns disappear under inflatable graveyards and mechanical zombies. Some families spend mortgage payments on decorations. The competitions get serious. Judges actually walk around rating displays. Trick-or-treaters travel in packs, creating crowds that rival small concerts. It's not just a holiday, it's a full-scale production that takes over entire communities for weeks. 85. Americans have mastered the art of being heard everywhere they go. Walk into any restaurant and you'll immediately notice conversations carrying across multiple tables. What other cultures consider private discussions, Americans broadcast at volumes that would make a town crier proud. Tourists from quieter countries often comment that they can follow entire family dramas just by sitting nearby. The decibel level difference is genuinely shocking to first-time visitors. 86. Picture this. Your plane touches down safely after a smooth landing, and suddenly the entire cabin erupts in applause. Welcome to America, where clapping for pilots is as normal as breathing. Flight attendants from other countries find this baffling, but American passengers seem genuinely grateful for not crashing. Sometimes the clapping turns into cheering and whistling, like the pilot just scored a touchdown. It's pure relief mixed with appreciation. 87. Nothing says I've given up on public appearance standards quite like grocery shopping in full pajamas. But here's the thing. Americans have turned sleepwear into acceptable daywear. You'll spot people in fuzzy slippers buying milk at noon, wearing robes like they're fashion statements. Mall food courts become pajama fashion shows on weekends. Other countries view this as the ultimate sign of laziness, but Americans call it comfort. 88. The to-go coffee culture has reached absurd levels in America. People carry coffee cups the size of small buckets everywhere they venture. Walking down streets while sipping becomes a national pastime, with some folks treating their morning latte like a security blanket. European visitors prefer sitting and savoring their coffee experience, but Americans prioritize speed and mobility. Why sit when you can walk and caffeinate simultaneously? 89. Americans will literally celebrate anything edible if you slap national in front of it. National Donut Day brings free treats and costume contests. National Pizza Day creates social media frenzies and office parties. People genuinely get excited about National Pancake Day like it's a federal holiday. Restaurants capitalize on these made-up celebrations with special promotions and themed events. Other countries rarely acknowledge food holidays with such public enthusiasm and participation. 90. Gas stations have become unwilling entertainment venues thanks to those blaring pump screens. You're trying to fuel your car peacefully, but suddenly you're bombarded with loud advertisements, weather updates, and celebrity gossip. The screens repeat the same content until you want to scream. Most people don't realize there are mute buttons hidden on the sides. It's like being trapped in a commercial break you never asked for. 91. Halloween in America isn't just decoration. It's a full-scale neighborhood invasion. Families spend hundreds transforming their yards into spooky wonderlands with inflatable monsters and animatronic skeletons. Some displays rival theme park attractions in complexity and cost. Neighborhood competitions turn streets into haunted house districts that draw crowds from miles away. Trick-or-treaters navigate through elaborate mazes that homeowners construct just for one night of thrills. 92. Americans have turned volume into an art form. Walk into any restaurant and you'll hear conversations from 3 tables away. It's like everyone forgot they have indoor voices. Tourists step off planes and immediately notice the difference. Americans don't just talk, they project. Theme parks become acoustic battlegrounds where families shout over crowds who are already shouting. Even quiet coffee shops buzz with conversations loud enough to wake the dead. The decibel level would make a rock concert jealous. 93. Nothing confuses international travelers more than passengers bursting into applause when a plane touches down. The engines wind down, wheels hit tarmac, and suddenly the cabin erupts like someone just won an Oscar. Flight attendants roll their eyes, but passengers keep clapping anyway. Sometimes people whistle or cheer too, turning the aircraft into a celebration hall. It's pure American optimism, thanking the pilot for not crashing into the ground. Other countries land planes without fanfare, but Americans treat every safe arrival like a miracle worth celebrating. 94. Grocery stores have become fashion runways for sleepwear. Teenagers stroll through produce aisles wearing fluffy pajama pants and bunny slippers like it's perfectly normal. Adults join the party, rocking flannel bottoms while selecting cereal. Some brave souls even add bathrobes to complete the look. Airport terminals now host pajama parades as travelers prioritize comfort over appearance. Europeans visiting America are shocked to see entire families shopping in what they consider bedroom attire. The line between public and private dress code has completely vanished. 95. Americans have weaponized caffeine into a mobile lifestyle. Giant coffee cups become permanent accessories, carried everywhere like designer handbags. Coffee shops compete to offer the largest possible containers. Some hold enough liquid to fill a small aquarium. Walking meetings happen with coffee in hand, park benches become outdoor cafes, and cars smell permanently of espresso. Other countries view coffee as a sit-down ritual, but it's Americans turned it into fuel for constant motion. Speed wins over savoring every single time, making coffee shops drive-through destinations. 96. Food gets its own national holidays in America, and people actually celebrate them. National Donut Day turns bakeries into free-for-all zones. Pizza shops give away slices for National Pizza Day, while customers wear cheese-themed costumes. Pancake restaurants host syrup-pouring contests that draw massive crowds. People plan their calendars around these edible celebrations, treating fried chicken or taco days like federal holidays. Other countries reserve national celebrations for historical events, but Americans will throw a party for literally any food that exists on planet Earth. 97. Gas stations decided customers needed entertainment while pumping fuel, so they installed tiny televisions on every pump. These screens blast advertisements, weather updates, and celebrity gossip at volumes that compete with traffic noise. The same commercials loop endlessly until you want to scream. Most people don't realize the mute buttons exist, suffering through promotional content about snacks they don't want. Europeans find this assault on their senses particularly jarring. They just want to buy gas in peace, not watch infomercials about energy drinks. 98. Halloween transforms American neighborhoods into horror movie sets that would make professional haunted houses jealous. Families spend hundreds of dollars on inflatable decorations taller than their houses. Mechanical skeletons dance on front lawns while giant spiders crawl across rooftops. Some displays require electrical engineering degrees to install properly. Neighborhoods turn into tourist destinations as people drive hours to see the most elaborate decorations. The competitive spirit reaches fever pitch with contests for best display, turning suburban streets into October entertainment districts that rival theme parks. 99. Americans speak at volumes that could wake entire neighborhoods. Walk into any restaurant and you'll hear conversations from 3 tables away discussing everything from divorce settlements to medical procedures. Tourist guidebooks actually warn visitors about the decibel levels they'll encounter. Theme parks become sound competitions where families try to out-yell each other across crowded walkways. The volume isn't intentional rudeness, it's just how things work here, where quiet conversations are practically extinct. 100. The moment airplane wheels touch American soil, passengers break into spontaneous applause like they've just witnessed a magic trick. Flight attendants roll their eyes because this happens on domestic flights that last 45 minutes. Sometimes the clapping escalates into full cheering sessions with whistles and woo-hoos echoing through the cabin. Other countries find this behavior baffling since landing safely is literally the pilot's job. But Americans treat every successful flight like surviving a near-death experience worth celebrating. 101. Grocery store aisles have become fashion runways for pajama pants, fuzzy slippers, and full bathrobe ensembles. Adults stroll through Target at noon wearing what most people reserve for bedtime, completely unbothered by public appearances. Some take it further with cartoon character pajamas and house shoes that look like animals. Airport security lines feature travelers in sleepwear heading to business meetings. Other cultures view this as the ultimate sign of giving up on society, but Americans call it comfort prioritization.